Welcome to episode 75. This is Gaming Dads, and now we're looking for cheat codes. With me right now is Chris.
What's going on, everybody?
And Ricky.
Yo. Come on.
If you're new to the show, please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can remember, Chris.
All right, that's not bad. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome to Gaming Dad 101. The show, as Mr. Garrett Schneider mentioned, gamers became dads and are now looking for cheat codes. Let me just go ahead and introduce. You can see this is a different format than we do each and every single week. So joining me on this episode, we have our co-host, Ricky.
What's going on, everybody?
And our special guest, Garrett Schneider, as we like to call him, Mr. Borderlands himself. Which I guess you can say that's basically why we're here. So a little sneak peek into the later in the show. But let's go ahead. And if you're brand new to Gaming Dad 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services all over the world. And then goes live on Fridays, each and every Friday, as a YouTube video. I almost forgot the YouTube part.
That's very essential for the video that we're recording.
And that's
everyone that's listening is like, whatever, no big deal.
I don't know what kind of setup you're talking about, but okay.
With the note of what just happened, fair note, we've been drinking tonight. As you guys remember, actually, go ahead and explain it. You did a great job doing the first take.
All right, so as many of you might actually remember, during our 1 year episode, I actually had made a bet that I was not able to say the word essentially. I was reading a question where the word essentially was on there. I go ahead and take it. I lost the bet, so I owe my man, Mr. Garrett, over here a beer. So and to hang out. So that's why we're having drinks on this episode. I am finally paying out on my bet. So I am a man of honor.
What you don't see is that Garrett has already another beer that's empty.
Yeah.
There, but
he's already on his second one.
I'm already on number 2.
So that's basically the warning that we're giving you guys. This episode is going to be a little saucy. So let's go ahead and go with the very first segment of the show as we have it. And there's actually a reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to give Ricky the chance to tell me off based on the first take. Ricky, tell us the reasons why we're broke this week.
Well, the reason why we're not broke this week is because we ain't got no damn game coming out. So homeboy over here made me act or think like I forgot something when I never did.
I'm a man. I can take my responsibilities when I make a mistake, and I'll be honest. So here's what happened. We recorded the first take, and then I pointed out that he forgot to do anything as to the reasons why we're broke. And then we went on this really long tangent because he was looking for it. Me and Garrett made a few jokes, sad that we weren't able to put him. We might put him at the end of the episode. But all that aside, it resulted that there were no games. And
so I actually did my job correctly.
And Garrett, now that you see how the show works behind the scenes, Garrett, do you still feel the same about it?
Yeah, there's a lot of effort that goes into this, and I love this project, and I love the fact that I get to be a part of it. I love the fact that I can help this because it's great. I mean, it's everything that we all encompass, video games, effort into everything that we do, and being dads, Hearing the kids in the background kind of makes me giggle every now and then because I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that.
And that's one of the things, like, when you're doing a show like this, you always want to try to focus on having great content and a great quality of show. So then you start questioning things like children in the background, and you're like, man, I have no way to edit around that. What do I do? It's one of those questions that you put yourself in, and you're like, okay, do we leave it in? But what we love about our audience and what we love about the members of the Facebook group is you guys kind of realize that we are just genuine guys who have kids who just happen to love video games and are doing this, working full-time jobs and doing all this other stuff. So we just love it, Yep. And I love the fact that, you're proof that it comes through, and based on how you talk to us about it, like, I'm glad that it comes through that way, basically.
The title is Gaming Dad.
But
in case you forgot.
But even then, the internet...
We try, yeah, no.
The internet
The internet is brutal. And, most of those people maybe just aren't parents, or, maybe they're expecting and they haven't quite gotten to that point yet. But, I don't know. I think that's part of the fun of it. So...
I mean, if you're missing it, probably within like in an hour or so, my kids are probably going to show up and you're just going to out of nowhere
Here's
bunch
the
of
sad
kids.
tragedy to today's recording. No, this is poetic when you think about it. Within recording the episode of this week for Gaming Dad, which also, fair disclosure, we're recording this earlier than usual. We're actually recording this the Saturday before because we had a special guest and we wanted to make sure we had a special, we had the time to record. No, thank you for being here, dude. Seriously. But we technically have had the house to ourselves for the past 2 hours. And we just started. So with that said, the kids will be home any minute now. And that's how hard it is, the effort it takes to put this show on. So let's go ahead and get into the week's news for this week. Very exciting news. One of them kind of has to do with the conference at PAX East from Gearbox, but let's go ahead and start with the original. Essentially, as you may or may not know, we've mentioned it. Essentially, I know I did that on purpose.
Bastard.
So, I mean, we are drinking on this episode. You kind of have to. So, once again, essentially, Nintendo is giving a free subscription for their online service. Essentially, all you have to do, I'm going to say it now all the time.
I can feel it.
I can feel it too. Well, all you have to do is log in and become a member of your Twitch Prime and claim it through your Twitch Prime membership. Now, if you also remember, if you're a member of Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime membership included within that membership. So I don't see no reason why anybody that would listen to this show would not rush to get that claimed as soon as possible. Now, Ricky, we've talked about this. There are caveats to how you can claim it, right?
There is.
Go ahead and tell us about it.
So the way that they break it down is just to make sure that you're not going to go and make a 1 month membership with Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime. So they have broken down the subscription services down to where the first section that you're going to get is going to be the first 3 months. Once you are a continuous member, after the 3 months, they will allow you to get the additional 9 months that are missing from the 1 year subscription at that point. That way you're not just grabbing it as just a one-time service and that's it. You're just taking the deal. So they just want you to actually be a member for a while.
Well, then with that said, too, you got to take into consideration that your Twitch Prime membership through Amazon Prime expires every month. So you manually have to go back in and renew it. So in order to get this deal, you have to make sure that for those first 3 months, you're renewing that membership continuously so that you're able to qualify for the other.
Now, the good thing, too, about this is that it's not just for new members, but also for existing members. So
because it just tacks onto your account, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're a brand new to the Nintendo online services, you will get the 3 months ahead of time, and then you'll go ahead and get the 9 months. But if you're an existing member, you will go ahead and get the additional 3 months tagged on to the very end of your current subscription, and then following with the additional month. Exactly. So if you already have a year and you only care about the 3 months at first, I mean, you're gonna have what 15 months.
We've been drinking. Services. We can't math today.
Nah, I can never math anyway. So
it is the end of the day, so we're also very tired.
That too.
And some of us got off work and had to run here, and we're all juggling, trying to figure out who, what, where, why, when for the 2 hours to get the show set up. So.
Oh man. So. Have you tried? I know you have Switch Online. Do you have Switch Online as well?
I do have.
I know you do.
I lost my Switch Online because my wife took the
hooked.
Switch because she got hooked on Tetris 99, and she not only got hooked on Tetris 99, she got really good at it.
She's the one who's been posting in the group. Yeah. That's his wife. She's the one who's been posting. And
she's the one that got number one.
I hate you a little bit, Mango. I love you deeply. I love you deeply, but I hate you a little bit because you beat me. I still have not gotten first on Tetris 99. The highest I've gotten is second.
Really?
Yes, I actually made it to
second. I can't break 30.
The highest I've gotten the first time I ever played it, I got placed at 25th place. Lower and lower, and I haven't played it ever since.
So here's a real conversation I had with my wife just last night because we were talking about all these sorts of things. I feel that the Nintendo Online service as it is isn't necessarily all that great. However, Tetris 99 has made me feel completely content with what I paid for it. The value and joy that I get out of Tetris 99 is to the point where I can justify everything else. The NES titles and the SNES titles that are there, I've checked them out, and they're cool, and I care, and some of the best games are in there, some of my favorite games, but I also have them in every other system.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
just
very true.
okay. It's not like great.
Exactly. So it wasn't something that, like, it's not what sold me. But between the price, like, realistically, at this point, I'm looking at the online service as I bought Tetris 99 for $35. That's the
Same.
way that I see it.
Same.
And honestly, Tetris for $35, I think is a kill. You know what I mean? I think it's justified at that point.
Well, I'm glad I only got the $20 one.
Yeah,
So
I didn't
that
do the
feels
family
much better for
plan
me.
either.
Well, I got the family plan, so
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I didn't do the family plan either. And there's a few more games that are coming out, and they talked about it a little bit at PAX East with Bulletstorm and some of the other games that Gearbox has been working with. So I'm really excited about that. And
Notice how he just like weaseled Gearbox into that statement.
Gearbox is
No,
life.
don't worry. We're
Gearbox
you know
is
what?
life.
Let's go ahead and transition because that's actually part of the second article. The second news article is regarding the Gearbox conference at PAX East for this year. Now, we're just going to go ahead and we're not even going to talk about the headline because we're going to talk about that in regards to the general topic. But we're going to talk about the entire conference kind of as a whole and kind of what you guys expected. And I'll be honest with you, I have never really played Borderlands. I've played it here and there. I've dabbled in it. I saw that. So it's one of those cases where as much as I see the fans, I see what they're doing, I see the quality of the game, I've always thought that it's been an amazing game. I think it's great quality, but I never thought it was something for me. However, after watching that conference, I fell in love with Gearbox in a way that not only did I start playing it, because I immediately put in the Handsome Collection and started playing Borderlands. I got my wife to start playing Borderlands with me, thanks to that wonderful split screen mode.
Yeah.
Which, like, dude, I hate that they've gone away.
They brought couch co-op back
Exactly.
in a whole new way.
And it's awesome. And
amazing.
that conference, just the quirkiness, like you could feel the love that these people have for their software. Like you saw, like when Randy came out and he started breaking down the trailer for the new Borderlands teaser and all the detail that went into it, like you could hear the passion of everything they've been working on for the past, what was it, 3 years? I think he said
5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
Now. Okay.
No, but you can actually see it on the video itself. Towards the end, at first they were having some technical issues when they were trying to show the teaser trailer.
Oh my god, that too. Yes.
Yes.
Poor Randy. Poor Randy. That's all I can
Full
say.
disclosure, I almost cried.
Yeah?
Oh yes, I almost cried. I fell in love with Gearbox in a way with this conference. I'm not even playing, and honestly, this isn't even the fact that we're drinking. This is legit how I feel. It's the whole,
But it helps.
but it does help. I fell in love with it so much because of their love and passion that I almost cried at the end.
Really?
Yes, when he comes out and he's like, "No, you don't understand. I just want to make sure this is perfect. We've been working on this
Yep.
for so long. We've thrown our hearts and our everything into this." Like
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
But yeah, no, and just in the way that they actually took all of those technical issues and the way that they handled it, you know, the CEO is legit like, "Hey, do you guys got it?" Like, "No, do you guys got it? I want this to be
like,
perfect."
this needs to be
And he was not going to leave that stage until that video came out perfect.
Yep.
And he even made him wait until he
Yeah.
could get it to play a second time. And he was like, well, I mean, everybody that's here, do you guys want, like it was glitchy. I want this to be perfect. If it's not perfect, then we're not leaving. And, you know, if you saw some of the humor that was in the conference, that's all the humor that's in all of the Borderland games.
Yes,
And that's why I love that series.
That's why I started to fall in love with it too. And my only exposure to this series has been Claptrap in a PlayStation 3 game where about poker. I forgot the name of the game, but it was a free game that came out for the PlayStation.
It wasn't that great, and I'm sorry that was your experience.
But I still found him very funny. You know what I mean? So I had a positive outlook on the character, but I never again hadn't played the series. So it was one of those. But the passion they had, it was I swear to you, dude, I almost cried.
Interesting.
But I think he handled it well. I think it was actually very typical for Gearbox to have an issue and laugh it off and make it work. You know, and issues and everything that they've had in the past, you know, I think Randy takes a lot of abuse that is really unnecessary from the community. But
that's
they
almost every
handled
developer
it
now.
very, very well.
You know?
And yeah, man, I'm glad that,
I know,
more people are getting back interested in it.
That guy was a gentleman and a scholar, all right? And I pray that at some point in my career, in our career in this, that we cross paths and that I get a chance.
Yeah.
Not even to make content with him, nothing, just to like shake his hand and be like, dude, I can see the passion you have in your games. I can see the passion you have in your team. And that's part of what's the most important, is the fact that you can see that he cares. Like, there's companies out there that are just in it for the money.
Right. EA.
There's
what?
Yeah. EA what? So, and that's blatantly obvious. In this company, you can see that they don't care about the money. They just care about the game. And sure, the money's fucking nice. Who's gonna turn it down? But for fuck's sake, he did a magic trick in the middle of the conference.
Which, by the way, was very long because that girl had to pick a really high number. If you haven't seen the video and you go to watch the video, I want to say like at least 10 minutes of this conference is him counting.
Here's the part that
it was a really well executed magic trick. I will give him that, because I was like, where are you going with this, dude? Like, and then he finished the trick, and I was like, actually, that was kind of nice, because that was for the board game that they put out for Claptrap and Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina's Toy Box.
Yes, Tiny Tina's.
See, this is
Tiny
why,
Tina
this is
Robot
why I
Tea
love
Party.
him.
Tiny Tina Robot Tea Party.
There you go.
This man legit wrote almost a
went.
PowerPoint presentation
Yes.
just to come here today and talk about this.
And this is why he's on the episode. It's because of his love for this series. I mean, you know what? We're going to have to figure out if we can edit it or not, even if it's like a quick cut to it and it cuts away from the show and it cuts to this picture. But I need a picture of you in that outfit. So, like, no, go ahead. Tell us about it.
Which part?
About the whole thing. What you did, why you did it, who you dressed up as, everything.
Oh, so yeah, I cosplay as a psycho, one of the Borderlands characters. Oh man, I can't remember how long ago it was. It was a while ago. And I actually won a costume party for that. I scared at least 3 people at the party. Because when I cosplayed it, I actually used real knives. I actually had drawn on myself in Sharpie, which was a terrible idea. I destroyed the sheets that night because I came home and I was more than intoxicated and just fell asleep with Sharpie on me. And so then I sweated and destroyed the sheets, which is a whole nother bad story. But anyways, I did a very decent execution of a psycho. I could have spent a little bit more money on a mask.
But even then, to me, that mask was awesome.
But I was broke at the time.
Yeah, I definitely got to see
it was a good one. I'll find it and send it to you.
And speaking of the mask, how sweet was it for Randy to just point out that fan and bring her up on stage to show the new mask for Tiny Tina that she had developed in 3 days.
But not just that. They were given NDA notifications like, hey, here's the product. Please make something if you wish. And she came up with that mask within 3 days.
And it was
yes,
really
it was.
Good. Like, I actually paused the video the second time I watched the conference, because of course I watched it more than once. And, you know, like, I don't think she missed a detail. I really don't. And in 3 days, that's amazing. Like, you know, hats off to her. And later on, I went back as well and kind of looked at some of the other cosplay stuff, because, you know, I follow a lot of cosplayers as well, because, you know, we're gamers. So, like, that's part of it. And, man, they really, really did a perfect execution of those characters. And, like, you know, hats off to all of those cosplayers that put in all those hours and all that effort to make a well-executed outfit.
So, it was crazy. And so without needing to say, they clearly announced the new Borderlands 3. And as an official announcement, the only thing that, of course, I don't think we got a date. I didn't see a date for the release. Did anybody?
No, they didn't say a date.
So they didn't say a date, and what I found digging through Twitter, not addicted at all.
What I found through my investigation.
So what I found was, when they do the release for the Borderlands 1 Remastered And the update for the Handsome Collection, which I believe it's only the Handsome Collection. I have not been able to confirm if you have Borderlands 2 on the Xbox One, if that update applies to that as well. I think it's only the Handsome Collection. But anyways, for Borderlands 1, when they do that, after they release that, they will release the date. What I am expecting is the end of the summer this year.
You think so?
You think?
Okay,
Yes.
so I don't know Gearbox well enough to make a prediction as to when. I would think a game this big, personally, if I based it solely on, when big games come out, I would put this between October and November. But why do you think summer?
So Gearbox kind of has done a good job of seeing mistakes that other companies have made and trying not to duplicate those and trying not to duplicate their own mistakes that they've made in the past. I also couldn't confirm it, but I was told through a message that was going to be the scenario as well. And since I couldn't confirm it, I kept it as a guess versus saying, yeah, it's going to be the end of the summer.
All right.
Okay.
Because, I don't want to get called out on the internet.
No,
and
let's
everything like that.
not break NDAs. Let's not get anybody in trouble just in case. But all right, fair enough.
I mean, I can see it though, because they've already been working on this game for 5 years. So if anything, they already have a lot of the all the little bugs or whatever
Worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is more about a game of this magnitude and putting it out at the right time. So, and this is, of course, are they in a spot where they can just put out the game whenever, and is it going to affect it? I mean, we have some. Realistically, do we even have competition this year? That is.
I mean, current
to worry about.
not that I know of, not that I
But
can
that's
look,
really
but
big.
I don't think there's actually any games that are going to be coming out around.
Yeah, this year has been pretty empty. I mean, we've said it
there
on
is
several episodes.
nothing
I
that
mean,
will come out
in
that will
Ju-
top this.
Yeah, no, right now in June,
So
all we
realistically,
have.
they can just do whenever the hell they want.
They can do it whenever they want.
Yeah,
Their
'cause-
fan base is extremely loyal and it's massive.
Even the new ones are about to get like.
Even the old ones are getting remastered.
And then here's the
Yeah.
question that I have, and now I'm going to ask you guys, because this is the part that I wasn't sure of. So, part in the news article that I segmented into this whole discussion with was regarding the update for the 4K and all of the graphics that they're doing, and the release of all the DLCs for the Handsome Collection. Now, is this going to be a new remastered, so a different SKU? Or if you already own the Handsome Collection, you're going to get that update for free.
If you own the
Yeah.
Handsome Collection, you get it for free.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
So here's the issue that I now have. So we've been playing, my wife and I, couch co-op, but I do have a second PlayStation that is for her, that's hers, with her own TV and everything. And while playing couch co-op is great, we did miss the full screen. So now I'm going to have to buy the digital copy as well. But you know what? I don't even care. At this point, I want to support them, man.
The other cool thing that we really didn't go over with Borderlands 1 that they're giving out with the new copy is that's also going to be in 4K. That's also going to get key codes. Key codes, if you aren't familiar with the brand, he tweets out key codes, which are 5x5 digit
Letters and
authorization
numbers,
codes.
Yeah.
And it allows you to go to a chest that's in the middle of Sanctuary in Borderlands 1, and I forget where it is in the. I think it's still Sanctuary in. No, it's not Sanctuary in the pre-sequel. Anyways.
All right, everybody, you'll notice that suddenly there was a weird click, and now there's maybe noise in the background. We're not sure if you can hear that or not. You'll also notice that we're now drinking water. Sadly, we became a little bit sober.
They're drinking water.
He's still drinking beer. But
Well,
we had
slushy, actually, but
it's
yeah.
a beer slushy.
slushy now,
essentially is what
yeah.
it's become. Unfortunately, we finished the episode. We wrapped up the show.
Amazing episode, by the way. No
And
one's
we
ever
wanted
gonna
to
hear it.
check it out and like show Garrett, the behind the scenes of how we do things. And
Oh,
we
he-
lost half of the episode.
He really got to see
He
behind
I
the
really got to
scenes.
see the inner workings, yeah.
So with that said, Garrett, you were talking about key codes, and we were talking about what Randy was doing with them. So I know that at this point it's going to be a little bit hard to go back to what we were talking about, but do you remember more or less where we were at?
Kind of. So we're talking about the key codes and everything they're putting into Borderlands 1, which is really cool because that's one of the many updates that they're giving to the Game of the Year edition,
Yes.
along with skins, which you never got.
Oh wow.
Heads and skins. You're going to get all the DLC content and everything with the Game of the Year edition.
And
So clearly you're still a little drunk. You had enough water.
Yeah.
I got him! I got him!
Trying to hold it together at this point in the night. Yeah, we're all just
After everything we've been through tonight, this is, if nothing else, we're coming out of here as a band of brothers.
This is
Yes.
there's definitely some camaraderie
That's
going
what I'm saying. But
so
bringing it back to the showcase and what happened and what was shown, it's realistically like, again, I go back to what I think I go back to. I don't know if it actually is in the episode.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But going back to everything, you can see the passion that they have in their games. You can see the passion that they put into everything. You can see how much it meant for him, for everything to play out perfectly, to showcase what they've been working on. Yep. And that's just amazing. Again, I don't know if it's already been mentioned, sadly, again, but what is it? Risk of Rain 2.
yes.
Risk of Rain 2. Hopefully people got a chance to check that out. They even came out with a Steam sale where you could buy a copy and you get a copy for a friend. I mean, this conference was just awesome. Yeah, no, we've talked.
Yeah.
We did this
I'm trying to copy as much as I can remember.
for the bit from the first one. Nice.
Right.
It was a great conference.
Other developers and stuff like that. And that's,
Yes.
You know, that's one of the other cool things that Gearbox does that not a lot of people talk about or anything else like that. And, you know, I've been a longtime fan of Gearbox, and yes, I'll go ahead and say that I'm a fanboy of Gearbox. Not to say that they can't do anything wrong, but, you know, they do a lot right. They get a lot right. And when they do make the mistake, which we're all human, we're going to do it. Yep. And tonight's episode is very well good proof of that. Man, I feel so tight with you guys right now. So,
well, you don't even know. We even brought meatballs this go around.
Like there's even like dinner.
Yeah, we're at the point of dinner, and it's like, you know what, 10 o'clock, and we've been doing this since what, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, they also even patched with. I think we almost got a child. We can't lock this door over here. So, you know, you get the interruptions because this is Gaming Dad 101.
This is really funny just to watch
We're
from
gamers became dads.
Yes.
And now we're just trying to record one episode.
And it was pretty funny because I believe we were talking about it prior to the actual show about us trying to keep it, or we even said it during the show.
We said it at one point, but I don't know if it's exactly on the tape or not. At one point I mentioned how we had the house to ourselves. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to record for hours. We've had multiple issues. And that we were trying to finish recording before the kids got back. And we technically did.
Yes.
We did. And it's a great episode no one's ever going to hear. We're going to make a song about this, too.
It's going to be a tribute. This is just the tribute.
This is just the tribute.
There we go. No, but I'm actually excited because I'm now, after watching this trailer and all this stuff, and all this unveil, I actually own Borderlands 2. And on Steam, and I actually want to go back and actually play it and give it some time because I'll be honest, full disclosure, I actually played that game for 0.2 hours.
Oh my god, you didn't scratch the surface.
I only went through the intro. Did not make it past the intro, but after seeing the dedication and all the love that they actually have for this game, I'm actually willing to give
I don't know
this
how you
game a
didn't
shot.
make it past the intro. I can't because, again, if it was in the episode or not, I started playing this game last night because of how much in love I fell with Gearbox after watching everything, after almost crying with him after almost crying when the episode died.
We did cry when the episode died.
Just like their trailer. And it was just one of those cases where I started playing it and that intro caught me. Like, that intro was like, oh, this is badass. I'm in. I am so in. And I cannot wait to see more.
I personally didn't give this game a fair shot. I only went through the intro, and I was also busy with other things going on. I just wanted to check it out.
There's too many games to play anyway.
Exactly.
You know,
especially on my Steam.
There's only one.
You've obviously not seen my Steam.
No, it's one of those games. I have very few games that I ever go back to, and Borderlands is one of them. Unfortunately, I've lost Borderlands not once but twice to 2 broken Xboxes with 2 maxed out characters on each time it went down. So I've lost a total of 4 characters.
That sucks.
You know, all that content, all that time, all those.
But the fact that you had
loot and
4
everything.
characters maxed out, like that's dedication to the
I
franchise.
will not disclose the amount of time that I had in each one.
We'll
To
talk
be
about it
honest,
off air
I
because I'm
don't
really
remember,
curious.
yeah.
And you and I are close enough that I should be able to know.
It's a lot.
We'll talk about it off
It's
air.
a lot. It's enough to where when I was watching the preview, my wife came in the room and asked what I was watching. And I told her it was for Borderlands 3, and she goes, "I'm not going to see you." Which is okay, because that'll give her more time on the Switch that she stole from me.
Also, that is one of the things that we did talk about.
Yes,
we talked
we did.
about the value of everything. We've already covered the subscription for Tetris. We've already covered, the value of Tetris, and basically how we're happy that we've basically paid $20 and $35 for Tetris 99. So it's
Just
wonderful.
spend the money for $20.
And for those
It's
going
worth
to
it.
Switch Primes, they might actually just get it for free or for $9
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
or $20. No, it's still $20.
Is-
Well, wow, that ain't
no, they would be getting it for free.
no $20 because you still got to get your membership subscription. No, with Amazon Prime.
If they
They got it.
Yeah.
Okay, the
I just
alcohol's
thought
clearly
about-
kicking in.
I just thought about that because
it's all
Amazon
clicking in
Prime.
Ricky's head. It's
Yeah,
great to
Amazon
watch.
Prime is actually
Check it out on
$12. Amazon Prime is actually $12
A month.
A month.
Okay.
That's $24 to get the free subscription.
All right then.
Oh,
I think Ricky just found out how you can buy another game.
oh no!
That's the math that I just saw working in his face. So once you catch the YouTube video, you'll be able to see and enjoy that with the rest of us.
Fair enough. All right, so that about does it. Mainly because we've already done the episode. We don't know how much we got left to cover. We did talk about it a little bit. We'll touch base on a little bit about the value of physical media. We basically covered how two out of the three of us do prefer physical media. Realistically, I still do prefer physical media. I'm just of the camp of, I do like where the digital space is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft might be ahead of the game and really see something that the rest of us didn't, and good for them because that's what they're supposed to do. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring out and everything else like that, and see where this takes us. I mean, let's be honest. We all came from either Atari or Nintendo, and
Well, some people came from Sega.
yeah,
I mean, people make mistakes, but
right.
yeah.
Stick to making games. So, we've been able to really be fortunate and see where all the gaming went and all the mistakes were had and all the triumphs were. And, gaming as a whole is really in a great spot, and it's really going in a good direction. And I think, excluding EA because nobody likes EA anymore.
Poor EA.
Yeah.
They did it to themselves.
They did.
Yeah, no, they did.
No remorse. I think we're all in a great spot, and I think, we have so much more to look forward to. So I'm excited about it.
All right. Now, before we end the episode, we have what we call the gaming cheat code of the week. This week's cheat code was brought to us by our very special guest, Garrett Schneider. Sadly, the effect of our initial conversation wore off, but we did talk about it, so I do want to bring it up. How does it feel to be on this end for everybody out there
Now
to suddenly be like, oh my God, I need a cheat code?
So when he told me that, hey, by the way, usually we forewarn our guests that they're going to give a cheat code. We're going to record in about an hour, so you need to have a cheat code in about an hour. Luckily, after I had my little... I had one in my back pocket that I just didn't quite have developed. as far as to be able to post to give you guys that extra cheat code, that you can submit your own cheat code, by the way, in the Facebook group.
I love him.
I love it, dude.
And so, since I didn't have it developed, I was like, okay, I'll keep this in my back pocket. In any hand, I believe we called it Put the Phone Down.
Yes.
And this kind of came to me because I went to the park with my son, and he was super excited to be there. He wanted to pull me around. He wanted me to go down the slides with him and race him down the slides and do all this stuff and interact with him. And eventually he started to interact with other kids, which is great because, you know, social interaction. Yeah, social interaction is great. And I noticed at that point in time, looking around the park, that a fair amount, more than half of the parents were distracted, either on their phone or, you know, with something else. And I'm like, man, you guys get such a finite amount of time and such a short period of time to be able to interact with your kids, where your kids like you and you're you know, you're their superhero, you're everything that they want around, you know, that I was like, man, you guys are missing out on so much right now. And, you know, so I wanted to be able to kind of convey that in the group and in the message. And so now I get to myself in person, which I'm still kind of excited about this because I love Gaming Dad 101. So to be able to interact with it and all that is super exciting for me. And, you know, before we lost this episode, there was so much good content on it. And, you know, I'm a single parent, or not a single parent, I'm sorry. I have a single child. So for me, he's what I have. You know, and you both have 2 children, and, you know, there's an age gap between you guys. So how does that interact with you and your children with this cheat code?
Holy hell, he's done so well in this episode. He's taken over. He's interviewing us.
I know, right?
So go ahead, repeat the question. Well, I'll play along. We're drunk enough that we can do this. Go on. Go ahead.
So continue. You gotta answer the question.
Repeat it.
What was your question?
So how is this cheat code relatable for you guys in your interactions with both of your kids? Because I have one child, and you both have 2. Mm-hmm. So
well, in the original recording, I mentioned I understand and I see everything, and I fully agree with you. We need to take advantage of that. I sadly have 2 children that are very much mama's boys. So it's one of those cases where my time with them sometimes feels limited because I sometimes feel like a fifth wheel. The reason I say fifth is because I have 2 dogs. But it's one of those cases where I want to try to treasure it, but I also at the same time, between everything that we do in our daily lives and the show and our work and the kids and the wife and the household and the this and the that, you do get lost in your phone. And sometimes it's not so much that you're focused on your phone. It's much more of your mind isn't active. You know what I mean? And it's getting that reprieve. And it's realistically, it's about finding that balance, but most importantly, taking advantage of the moments when they present themselves. You know, and I guess that I can see the allure and I can see why it happens, but it's about trying to be vigilant to not miss those opportunities.
Yeah, no, and like I had mentioned earlier on the prior cut.
I mean, it's mentioned on our show. This is not his show.
I know, right?
Yeah, sorry.
on his prior, show cut,
Oh man.
I also have 2 kids. You know, my oldest one is 5, the youngest one is 2, and the example that I gave was my oldest one, by now being 5, she wants to be very, very dependent.
Yeah.
And for example, like whenever we get home or whatever, I want to hug her, and she's the kind of, okay, no, like put me down, just like leave me alone. I'll carry her or whatever, and she'll become very sensitive, very whiny of, oh no, it hurts, and all I'm trying to do is just pick her up just to give her a hug.
Yeah.
You know, but whenever she was a little baby, I was actually the one that would have to put her to sleep. You know, I would put her on my chest. She would just go sound asleep. I loved it. You know, I was able to cuddle with her. I mean, I had plenty of pictures of me and her, like, legit, like, sleeping the same exact way. Like, I just love those moments. And now that she's 5, she doesn't really want to have those kind of moments with me anymore. So that's why I'm actually enjoying my second child right now. That's currently 2, because I can still, overpower her and just like make her do whatever the heck I want.
And now we know why people have like 5, 6, 7 children, so they can keep that.
Because they're kind of crazy.
Because it goes away, So.
But yeah, that's kind of the point of the cheat code, and just to kind of remind everyone, like, don't look at me all weird. I don't know. I guess I've gotten super comfortable at this point.
No, you're
we're
perfect.
recording it at the
Believe
second
me,
time.
this isn't a negative
I'm already
thing.
a few beers in and everything, so I've gotten super relaxed with
Nah,
this.
we're good. We love it. We love it, dude.
But yeah, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
Nah, thanks so much, man, for being part of the show, for being part of the group, for contributing, for bringing a cheat code at the very last second, for seeing what it's like to be behind the scenes of this show on a daily. So hopefully,
it's definitely a commitment.
You're definitely going to be coming back.
So,
like, I'm letting you know right now, the minute Borderlands does come out, you will be back. We are expecting a Gamer on the Street field review from you at some point. All right.
The computer said we're done. Nope. All right.
Okay. So
does that mean we've still been recording?
Yes, we're still
recording.
So
it's been that kind of night.
You know what? Leave it in. I don't care at this point. Leave it in. So before we go, is there anything you want to plug? Like mental health services?
You know what? This go around, I actually want to plug something. Guys, everybody out there, I want to say I am very sorry for this episode. It has been very fun recording it, but we have had multiple technical issues. As you can see, now even live during the actual recording, our music just kind of turned on. But again, we do pour our sweat, blood, and tears into the show that we try to make. Garrett
I've
actually
seen it tonight. So.
Yes, he has been part of all the stuff that actually goes behind the scenes on this show. And we try to make it to be as seamless as possible for you, the listeners. But at times, there's things that we cannot help, and we just have to roll with the punches. Again, I do apologize if you actually do hear a lot more noise on the second half of the show as well. But again, stick with us. We're dads. I mean, I'm recording in my room, as you can see. We don't have a professional studio, at least not yet. Eventually, in the future, we may.
When one of us wins a lot.
There you go.
I say us like I'm in the show already like that.
Enjoy this next week when Gary's doing magic.
This is my new home.
He won't even know when we're recording. He's just, hey guys.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
Exactly. I mean, do you remember every single time I used to provide those last minute, breaking news?
Oh yeah, he used to do that. Because
that's how Ricky got in.
Yes.
Yes.
So an extent, at one point, he would randomly just text, and because he would know we would be recording around that time frame, it'd be like, hey, breaking news. And
yeah. See, so I'm following in Ricky's footsteps.
There you go.
By the way, if you haven't met Ricky, he's got big knee. Calm yourself.
Just means big shoes, baby.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I apologize for how drunk we are. With that, thank you very much for joining us on this episode. Slightly. Thank you for joining us very much on this episode of Gaming Dad 101. Remember that Gaming Dad 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services around the world and as a YouTube video on each and every single Friday. I almost fucked up YouTube on the second take as well. It happens. So thank you very much.
It's just par for the course. Look, click here.
Click
here.
Over there. Over here.
Right there.
All that stuff.
There.
Once again, thank you very much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Meatballs!
Luego.
Alright, your ball squirted all over my hand.
And in your pants, too.
My pants.
No. After I opened it, immediately turned into a fucking slushie.
Fucking technical issues all around right now.
Oh, Jesus.